When Kinzo got in a rage, he wouldn't let anyone talk back. Even so, while yelling by himself, he would sometimes convince himself of something all of his own accord, and change his own opinion. I see us. I mean, guess it ain't the first time. I mean, you see Kinzo as this guy who is so broken to the core, there is no redemption for him, but I remember that one time Nanjo talked to Kinzo in his study before. Like, if someone were to really try and talk to Kinzo and convince him, it could be possible, but I don't know. Like, maybe this is one of Kinzo's traps to make us think that, like, to make us think one way and then be all psych, fool ya. Like, maybe he's gonna be like that guy from Full Metal Jacket and be all, you are all equally worthless! And I'm gonna be all, oh Kinzo, you're the hood. And that's what this felt like to the siblings. Ah, so they shared the same feeling. Apparently, even though Kinzo had become absolutely fed up with his shoddy children and had cast them away as being unfit for the inheritance of his total fortune, he wasn't so sure about his grandchildren. At this rate, he might soon say that the inheritance would go to his grandchildren instead of the siblings. As the siblings sat in fear of what their fickle and short-tempered father would suddenly think of next, they carefully watched his every move.
Hmm. 考えを少し改めよ。お前たちに我が全てを継承する気は全くない。しかし、孫たちの誰かにその資格があるかどうかを問うのはなかなかに面白いことだ。いつまでも子供だと思っておったが、ひょっとすると私を驚かせるような原石のきらめきを見せてくれるかもしれぬ。そしてそれを期待し試すのは、なるほど。我が余生最後の道楽としても捨てがたい。はあ、さて、これはどうしたものか。
ジョージならお父様の後を継ぐにふさわしいと私は自信を持って推薦できます。
Eva claimed that right away. Eva, you do realize that Kinzo might not even want to give George the inheritance just out of spite, because he can surely think that you're gonna mooch off of George's money. Like, at least try to sound more refined and less like a vulture in the eyes of your father. I mean, Jesus. Natsuya looked like she was about to fall along. Macross gave her a look telling her to restrain herself, so she swallowed her words. Okay, well, at least Kraus seems to have the right idea over here. I mean, you know what they say. Silence is golden in situations like this. And Eva is just... She's giving off like desperate feelings over here.
勇ましいではないか。ではこうしよう。後宮家の家督と財産のすべてを受け継ぐ資格があるかどうか、孫たちに個別に問おうではないか。
お父様。
しかし、それはお前たちの誰かに間接的に家督を引き継ぐという意味ではない。
Exactly. Like, don't be using your son to get the headship, Eva. Like, this is about George, not you.
お前たちにはすでに失望しているのだ。お前たちに与えるものは今や何もない。何もな。私が問うのは孫たちだ。そして引き継ぐかもしれないのも孫たちだ。それを決して勘違いするな。
お父さんの判断に従います。
同じくだ。親父の決定に従うぜ。なあ、
兄貴。
もちろんよ。お父様が賢明な判断をされると信じています。
私もお父様の判断に従います。
孫たちをどのように試すかは考えよう。
Okay, well, I actually have an idea. How about all four of them, like Bella, George, Jessica, and Maria, like they all play Shiritori? The one with the most amount of points wins.
そしてそれはお前たちには今さら関係のない話だ。当主継承とお前たちはもはや何の関係もないのだから。だからこの場ではお前たちに関係のあるもう一つの話をしようではないか。
もう一つの話とは。
それこそが今宵の、そして後ろ宮家最後の親族会議の本当の理由だ。お前たちに求めるのは議論でも意見でもない。
Oh, what he's gonna demand from you is death!
我が儀式に協力を求めるためだ。
儀式？
静かに。お父様がお話をなさっている最中よ。
Rudolph and the rest automatically knitted their brows at the occult-like word, or ritual. Well, I guess it is time for the first Twilight. Once again, the adults are the first ones to go. They just cannot catch a break, can they? Was he talking about starting a strange ritual involving Beatrice's resurrection again? He was demanding that they hope? What was he planning to start? In the past, he had carried out many eccentricities. Eccentricities that he called by the same name, such as lighting a strange incense and filling the whole mansion with a stench. To the siblings, a ritual was nothing more than one of the aged Kinzo's obnoxious hobbies.
お父さん、儀式とは一体。
私たちに協力できることなら何でもご協力します。ねえ、ローザ。
ええ。でも一体何を。
私が碑文に刻んだ通りの儀式だ。ベアトリーチェをよみがえらせ、黄金鏡の扉を開く儀式である。肉体の檻を逃れ、私の指の隙間を嘲笑うようにすり抜けるあの魔女を今度こそ捕らえ、屈服させる私の最大の秘術だ。そのために13人もの命を生贄に捧げねばならぬがな。13人もの生贄は容易には集まらん。しかし今宵は親族会議。これだけの大人数が六軒島に集まった。この儀式が行えるのは今日を置いて他にないのだ。
Taken literally, it could only sound as though he was letting them to die as sacrifices for this disturbing ritual. Ridiculous. Is this some kind of metaphor? But they didn't even have a clue what he was trying to tell them through this analogy. The siblings whispered together, wondering what Kinzo was saying.
親父は何を言ってるんだ。いつもの悪い病気か。だろうな。しばらく黙って聞いてやれ。
ごめんなさい、お父様。どういう意味でおっしゃられているのか分かりかねます。
何が分かりかねるというのか。
I wonder if Rosa is thinking about her past with Beatrice when she was younger, and when Quadori and Beatrice died. And now when Kenzo is talking about the resurrection of Beatrice, Rosa is definitely thinking of that moment.
私は至極単純に話している。ベアトリーチェを蘇らせる儀式のために、この島にいる人間から13人を選び、生贄に捧げようと言っている。何の価値もないお前たちも、我が儀式の生贄としてなら、大いに役に立てるというわけだ。聞け！これは冗談でも何でもない。我が人生の最後に欲する最後の賭け、最後の儀式である。この島には今13人を超える人間がいる。つまりこの膨大な数の生贄を容易に満たせるだけの頭数が存在するというわけだ。お前たちは我が儀式の生贄となれ。金蔵さん、あんたまさかあの話は本気だったのかね。冗談ではなく。
Usually for Nanjo, his face changed color and he stood up and shouted. He said this wasn't the first time Nanjo had heard all this dark talk about 13 secrets. I feel like I'm getting worse at reading lately. I feel like I should just maybe slow it down a little bit. It seemed this wasn't the first time Nanjo had heard all this dark talk about 13 sacrifices.
すまんな我が友よ。あれは冗談でも何でもない。我が生涯を賭して最後に挑む儀式であり、ゲームなのだよ。
Although, I would say that is because of tiresome, because of lack of sleep maybe? I don't know. That or I'm not gonna be surprised if I'm gonna find out that my brain is starting to rot at my age.
そう、これはゲームだ。お前たちにとって我が財産を得て島を出ることがゴールならば、それを達する方法は2つしかない。13人の生贄から逃れ見事生き残り、今更ながら碑文の謎を解いて儀式を止めてみせるか、私を殺しこの儀式を止めてみせるか。この2つしかない。
Wait, kill you? I never thought of that as one of the conditions to win this whole thing. Like, you died in the other games, yet they still continued. Like, if we are even to go with Battler's Blue Truth even more, then that's even more of contradiction. Then again, Eva solved the epitaph last game, and yet the killings still happened, so... I don't know, like a part of me is saying that all these conditions that I keep hearing about are just a bunch of bullcrap. That's maybe on the flip side. Maybe there's something that I'm still missing over here, I won't be surprised. But no, it was no longer whispering among those gathered there, but an easy commotion. Even the siblings had noticed that Kenzo was beginning to act abnormally.
お父さん、少しお疲れなのでは。源氏さん、お父さんは少し酒を？
いいえ、親方様はご明晰であらせられます。
悪いけど親父、何を言い出すのかさっぱりだぜ。親父が愛する魔女を蘇らせるためにどんな怪しげな儀式を追っ始めてもそりゃ自由だぜ。親父の趣味なんだからな。だがそいつに巻き込まれて生贄にされるのはまっぴらごめんだぜ。
ルドルフ、お父様の話に口を挟む気？
何言ってんだ姉貴。こんな物騒な話に はいそうですかでうなずけるわけねえだろ。
Was the ritual Kenzo had mentioned literally the frightening thing it seemed to be? Or was it some kind of test to choose his successor? It seemed that Rudolph had taken it at its disturbing face value. But Eva apparently still believed that it was something like a trial, or examination, to find the proper next head. But Kenzo's response to this was clear.
さて、私からの話は以上だ。異議も意見も何にも必要はない。
Alright, well, whatever. Like, there is no room for doubt that we're gonna start the first Twilight soon. Like, yeah. might as well eat some more Tic Tacs and watch the Gore Fest.
4人の不出来なる息子たちがいたという私の夢が覚めるだけの話なのだ。お前たちにとってこれより目の前で起こることはまさに夢、幻、あるいはこの世のものと思えぬ理解に及ばぬ世界だろう。しかしそれこそが我が現実。お前たちという出来の悪き浅い夢は今こそようやく覚めるのだ。さあ、もうゲームは始まっているぞ。これだけいては誰から命を奪えばいいものやら。さらばだ、出来の悪き息子たちよ。そして生涯でただ一度、そして最後に私の儀式のために役に立て。いでよ、ペンドラゴンの記念兵たちよ。
Pendragon Memorial Troops. Kenzo raised his arms like an opera singer, and yelled those words as though towards a packed audience. The air shuddered like this, and the figures of 3 people who hadn't been invited to this island appeared regardless.
Chiester 45、ここに。
Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Care for some more Tic Tacs? Orange flavored.
Chiester 410、ここに。
シエスタ00、ここにであります。
Whoa! A new Chiester girl. Chiester 00. Oh my. A weapon of the Sisters' cavalry, which serves Pendragon. 00 has the position of their calm and composed leader. Leader? Wait, so you're saying that Chiester 00 is like he's the leader? Man, that sucks. So, I guess in the end it is not Usada Pecora. God damn it. However, that is merely the role that was sought of her. Her true self is far more of a weakling. Eh? Her true self is far more of a weakling. 00 excels in reconnaissance and as a vanguard, and has enormous power to bring the enemy under control during encounters. However, her excessive power level has been criticized as inhuman, and it is not rare for her to be lynched and abused upon surrendering on the battlefield. Her one eye tells of this without words. Three girls with bizarre forms suddenly appear behind Kenzo. Where from? When? Who? Who are they? The humans were thrown off balance and their minds went blank. In such short skirts too. My goodness. And because they wasted time with such thoughts, they lost their chance to survive.
お前たちには6人の射殺を許可する。
Your perverted thoughts will be the death of you, siblings.
標的は自由だ。攻撃開始。
自由射撃了解であります。
And I'm also noticing like a wound on her ear.
良き標的に感謝。かっこ自由射撃開始。
You know, I actually did mention this before about the Chiester sisters being like the rabbit dolls that Maria had as well. And it was mentioned that there were 4, meaning that maybe we're gonna see like 4 Chiester girls through this. Probably more, but it told me that there's more than just Chiester 410 and Chiester 45, you know. And I do remember when Rosa threw one of the statues at the wall. Could it be that is referring to Chiester 00? Because she's wounded, you know. Tell me that is from the wall. That was when Rosa threw her to the wall. That could be an interesting detail there. As 410 scratched her hair with her finger, a golden ball appeared in empty space, and his string was pulled back. The golden arrow that had been radiated there was fired off without any hesitation. It flew around the room, leaving haphazard gold trails everywhere. And from among those sitting at the table of the family complex, it chose Nazi and pulverized the left half of her face. Flesh and deep red blood splattered around, leaving a massive amount of deep red spatter marks on the relatives' faces and a pure white tablecloth. Dang it. Did it have to be Nazi, though? There was silence, despite the massive number of deep red blotches left on the tablecloth. Even still, no one could understand why Nazi's head was half smashed, nor why she was hanging her head as though she had dozed off in her chair. And they watched these events in silence. Those sitting on the right-hand side from Nazi were silent for a relatively long time, but those sitting on her left were not. As the people sitting on that side, shown how her head had been smashed open like a watermelon or a pomegranate, and could even see inside her.
まずは一人、夏日か。最後まで運のない女だ。次。
00射撃。
And Kinzo didn't think much of her to top it all off. Quite contradictory to what we've seen in Game 1. In the same way, 00 scratched the empty air to ready her bow, and fired. Just like the golden arrow 410 had released, he flew around and around at high speeds, drawing a convoluted trail, after which, as he looked at Nazi in shock, he smashed half of Rudo's head in the same way, killing him instantly. This time, everyone did not stop thinking altogether. They realized that a terrible murder had been carried out right in front of them, according to Kinzo's words. And they understood that Kinzo would probably kill again. Shrill screams burst out. Even now, they still didn't know what to do. As if I had asked Kinzo that in total shock. Hideyoshi, who had come to his senses and risen from his chair faster than anyone else, pulled at her arm from behind. However, Merciless Fate's choice for the first sacrifice was Hideyoshi. And just like the two before him, half of Hideyoshi's head was neatly smashed, on the right side of his head, which happened to be facing that direction at the time, was blown away, chunks of its contents thrown everywhere, like a watermelon or pomegranate. So, still holding ammo, Hideyoshi toppled backwards and fell down. Still held by her beloved husband, and fell over backwards with him. Eva screamed, and who could blame her? The place she had been looking for had been half lost. And the cursed skull, the squelchy exposed brain, and the crushed jaw were all bare.
45着弾命中。
見事だ。続けて撃て。残りは3人であるぞ。
お父さん、これは何の真似です。
Crossed to the fourth room and was about to rush Kenzo when Double O blocked him. Despite her slender-looking body, she held back Cross's body with just the palm of her right hand. He still tried to resist and attack Kenzo. So Double O lifted Cross up by the collar and twisted into his Adam's apple with her thumb. It seemed to be very painful, and Cross was overcome with agony.
みんな逃げろ。警察を救急を早く。皆さん逃げましょう。逃げるんだ。
Now the sharp words finally broke the spell that had been holding them down in their chairs. As Koda and Kumasawa made a mad scramble to escape from the dining hall, 410 teleported to that spot, blocking the way.
にひすっとろいね。逃がすと思ったかに。
410, before you continue your killing spree, may I ask for a favor? Can you at least let Kumasawa live for a little longer, maybe? I kinda still need her alive. Like, what do you want? I can give you all my Tic Tacs if you want. At the sound of Kiria's sharp voice, Gora, in a state of complete confusion, ducked. Then, a burst of air rushed above his head. Kiria had taken a big swing with a chair to mow 410 down. But 410, still wearing a contemptuous expression, easily caught that widely swung chair with one hand.
おっかない女だね。旦那の後がそんなに追いたい？
From the sleeve of the arm that she had used to catch the chair, something like a shining gold snake appeared, coiled itself around the chair, with a huge crunch, and bursted into splinters. It was a fearsome power, far stronger than any vice. When Kiria realized that the being in front of her, which looked like a girl, was actually a being that surpassed human knowledge and which a human could not even begin to oppose, her head was filled with a great alarm bell that was welled up from inside her. Even with a scene like this before their eyes, Genji, Shano, and Kano, the servants permitted to wear the one-winged eagle, continued to stand calmly at attention by the wall, making them look very bizarre and eerie. For an instant, Kirie thought that the source of their calmness was that they were with the enemy and had been guaranteed that they wouldn't be killed. But no sooner had she thought that, the side of Kenji's face was blown away before her eyes.
45
着弾命中。
ほほう、源氏め、これは運が悪い。安らかに眠れ、我が友よ。そなたの死は無駄にはならぬぞ。我が愛しき魔女復活の重要なる13の鍵の一つとなるのだから。
Half of Genji's expression that remained was as indifferent as ever. He tilted, fell in a heap, and sent a blood-red splatter out across the floor.
ケンジ様。
僕たちなんて所詮は魔女の駒なんだ。
Why is it that I always have to watch Kano go back and forth between seeing himself as a furniture and like outgrowing that? Time travel bullshit, that's why. Or in Umineko's case, game board reset bullshit.
所詮
From the meek and frustrated, no, resigned expressions on Shannon and Kano's face. You couldn't feel any naive expectation that they would be saved. And that's right. Kenzo was, in the truest sense, carrying out these murders at random. In the truest sense, he was kidding like it was a game to see who would be saved and who would be killed.
さて、次は誰を狙うかに。
410 looked at Kirie for a second. In that second, Kirie prepared for her own death. But once she had readied her golden bow in midair, 410 looked at someone else over Kirie's shoulder. So, as shameless as it was, Kirie sensed that she had been saved. Again, an ugly sound of something cracking and exploding rang throughout the room. Who was it this time? When Kirie turned in the direction of the sound, she saw Eva collapse onto her husband's chest, gushing blood like a fountain. Of course, her face was half smashed just like her husband's. 410 had mercilessly targeted Eva as she clung to her husband's body, sobbing.
兄さんを離して。兄さんを離しなさい。もうやめてお父様。こんな残酷なことはもうやめて。
逃げろ、ローザ。
Rosa's protestations weren't reaching Kenzo as she continued to laugh loudly in the blood-spattered dining hall. And nor was she able to lessen Krause's pain as 00 lifted him up by the collar. So Rosa had no choice but to use force. She raised one of the chairs beside her over her head and gave a warning.
お父様、兄さんを離すように命令して。こんなことをやめさせて。
できぬな。それを望むならば、お前の自らの力で阻止するがよい。自らの運命は自らの手で切り開け。常に誰かの背に隠れ、怯えてきたお前に宿る人生最後の国旗を見せてみよう。
お父様。
The chair that Rosa had lifted up swung down at the father who had reigned as a symbol of terror for her entire life. Oh my. Okay, now this could be interesting. He was the greatest and final act of bravery and self-mastery in Rosa's life. Kenzo might have been right. If she had grasped that courage much sooner, her life might have been more free, unrestrained by anyone else. That is true. If things were different, maybe Rosa wouldn't have turned into such a broken state. And thus, things would have turned out much better for Maria. Then, a loud bursting sound. The sound of Rosa's chair fiercely hitting Kenzo. It was not. Still lifting up the chair, she nearly lost half of her hand and fell with a thud. Darn it. Screw you, Kenzo. While still holding Krause up with one hand, 00 had stuck her hand out towards Rosa, and the golden snake released from that arm had constricted Rosa in the helix and chewed a hole through her head.
防衛射撃資金団の無礼をお詫びするであります。
構わん。これで6人であるか。
はい、ゴールドスミス卿、これで6人であります。
After declaring this with indifference, double let go crowns, which she had been lifting up this whole time. Goldsmith.
第一の番の生贄はエヴァにルドルフにローザ、夏日、秀吉、そして源氏であるか。
It was a massacre that happened in an instant. The interior of the dining hall was dirty with blood spatter, and the 6 unlucky victims lay with their heads brutally exposed. Fittingly, it was Kinzo's abnormal laugh alone that echoed in that normal space. Well, you had your fun, I'm sure. Now please go ahead and fuck yourself.
いよいよに幕を開けたぞ。ベアトリーチェを蘇らせる儀式の始まりだ。運よく第一の番を逃れた者たちに我が友人たちを紹介しようではないか。いでよ、我が友よ、ロノウ。
When Kinzo called Ronoe's name, the demon butler appeared out of thin air, bowing deeply and respectfully.
皆様方、はじめまして。そして、ご無沙汰の皆様におかれましてはごきげんよう。これはまた派手に散らかされましたようで。
I guess this calls for some more cookies made by you, Ronoe. Maybe that will make the ugly taste in my mouth go away.
よいわ。我が白昼夢のごとき日々を覚ますにはこの程度の刺激が必要だ。紹介しよう。我が友人であり頼れる執事であり72柱の大悪魔であるロノウだ。
以後お見知りおき。
Who was he aiming that introduction at? Kraus and Kiria were still down on their backsides, and Nanjo and Godan Kumasawa could only look up in shock at this middle-aged gentleman who they had never met before. Only Shannon and Kanon seemed to recognize him, and they bowed deeply.
源氏には挨拶が叶いませんでしたか。せめて苦痛なく役目を終えられたなら良いのですが。
東部直撃弾にて即死でした。苦痛を味わう暇もありません。
そうですか。結構です。
続けて友を紹介しよう。いでよ、我が友ワルギリア。
Once again, the figure of someone unknown to the relatives appeared out of thin air. Hi, Virgilia. Having fun? She appeared in an elegant dress while greeting them gracefully.
召喚を感謝します、親方様。許されるならば、このような血生臭き場に呼び出されたくはありませんでしたが。
こやつも紹介しよう。我が友であり、頼れる相談役でもあるワルギリアだ。
What the hell? Like, since when are you guys friends? I thought that you knew Beatrice only. Like, why are you with a bastard like Kinzo?
偉大なる有限の魔女であるお前の力を我が儀式に借りたい。その力を貸せ。
お断りしようにも、あなたの強力な召喚霊族下にある身ではそれも叶いません。御意に、親方様。
それにしても恐ろしいお方だ。シエスタの姉妹兵を3人も召喚し、私に加えさらにワルギリア様までも召喚せしめるとは、召喚という能力においてのみとはいえ、お嬢様をもはるかに上回るとは恐ろしい。
I guess I am to assume that this is just part of your jobs. Like, even if you and Virgilia do not want to, like, you have to follow the orders of the person that summons you, including Kinzo. Man. To think that I would much rather have you guys follow Beatrice's orders than Kinzo's. I would much rather have Beatrice be the one that gives you the orders, not Kinzo.
後ろ宮の地に戦慄を覚えます。
ベアトリーチェ復活の儀式を執り行うために、私は召喚師としての全てを尽くすだろう。まだ足りぬな。この度の儀式の完璧なる遂行のために、さらに召喚しよう。ペンドラゴンの記念碑に、炉の上にワルギリア。まだ呼べるぞ。我が魔力ならまだまだ呼べる。
Oh god. Please don't summon Epitrice. Like I'm having a PT RW SD right over here. Like post-traumatic red web stress disorder.
我が召喚に応えよ。72柱が一人。ガープよ。
Garp? Wait, what?
ガープをあれまでも権限できるというのですか？
さらにこの島の侵食が進んだということでしょう。私たちが権限できているほどです。
Are you serious?
今さらどんな大悪魔が呼び出せたとしても驚くには値しますまい。
もはや六軒島は完全に異世界に飲み込まれているということですか？
Well, I mean, when you think about it, yeah. Battler truly can be considered an isekai protagonist.
彼が屈服しないと良いのですが。
前回たっぷり入れ知恵をなされたでしょう。この程度では今さら屈服しますまい。おそらくですがね。さて、私たちはこの舞台を楽しもうではありませんか。今回の主人公はどうやら親方様のようだ。お嬢様とは一味違った脚本に期待しましょう。
As Kinzo strongly concentrated his magical power, a pale blue light gathered in the air, twisted, and the magic circle began to be drawn with a deep red light. Wait a second. That must be Gup's symbol, isn't it? Like, if I were to check the Goetia, I would find it there, like, near Gup's entry, won't I? Fucking bastards. And then it shattered with a sound like glass, and a new demon could be seen. Regina? Is that you?
よくぞ我が呼びかけに応えた。
I knew it. I knew it! It is true! You are hiding inside Nanjo all this time, weren't you? You are Nanjo's witchy demonic persona. My Nanjo. Like the dirty thoughts that you're thinking of.
72柱の大悪魔が一つ、ガープよ。
I guess Kinzo is not the only one who is a simp for waifus and such.
すごいところに呼び出されたものね。この血まみれの部屋を掃除するために私は呼び出されたのかしら。ゴールドスミス。
That literally devilish woman, wrapped in a gaudy, ominous costume. Look at the horrifying scene which should have made her cover her eyes, and her mouth twisted into a grin. Damn it. Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that she is here, since Maria mentioned Gop like way back in the first game, but Christ. Like, if we can have Salos, like one of the 72 demons here as well, like that would be a blast. I kinda want to ride a crocodile myself.